so I'm going to go through every single book I've read so far this year. This is going to be a little late for what I'm reading, but that was intentional because a lot of these books have, well, a chunk of these books have reading vlogs to go with them, and I just said I'll throw in July with it. So I read about 40 books in like the space of like 5-6 months. I was still in my reading slump up until April, and then April, May were really good, and like I would have done a wrap up then, but then I had the leaving cert and I barely read that month. But then this month, which is July, it's actually August. My birthday's in 3 days, hence why I've tan on. But my book slump kind of ended in April. I took a book break for June because of the exams, and then this month has been really, really good. So I'm going to go through all the books I've read so far this year. It's like a Q2 kind of wrap up. So, okay, so in January, I read Wyatt by Jessica Peterson. This book I gave 3 stars. This is the sequel to Cash, and I never read Cash, but I don't think I'm going to read it because the third act, whatever you want to call it, at the end of this was so stupid. I'm going to put a spoiler warning on now and skip to this time if you don't want to know. But basically, her dad shoots him, and then in the next chapter, they're all happy dandy. And I'm like, no, you just shot him. But like, I get it's America and they're open carry and everything, but like, no, thank you. Then I read Give Me More by Sarah Kate. This book I did love. I think I would have loved it more if I wasn't in a book slump. I gave it like 3.5, 3.75 stars. But it's Polly, and I love Polly. Literally in my like review, the name is called Give Me More, and in my review I said give me more. So those books I read in January. Then I read nothing in February. Did not pick up a single book. Then I read in March. I read Deep End, and I actually enjoyed this book. But you can tell I was in a slump. I tabbed one singular thing. That's how you know I wasn't loving the book. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. So I liked it. But I think I liked the thought of it more than I enjoyed reading it, if that makes sense. But that's also reading slump. Then I also in March read The Calm Before the Storm. This is a little novella that is meant to be after the Inheritance Games, but it follows the couple of the Bridge Kingdom and the Trader Queen. So I just read it. And I love Aaron and Laura. I love them so much. And I want more of them, like now. And I know you're going to be like, just read the sequels. No, because they're background characters. I want them to be main characters. But this book I gave 4 stars. For a novella, that's a lot. But it was so good. And it's a lot about her wanting to like be a mom, but proud in the fact of she's not going to become a mom until the country loves her, because she's not going to use the child as a pawn to get the country to love her. It was so good. So good. Then April is when I started coming out of my slump. So at the start of April, I read Ice Rivals by Christian Ganata. This is also another poly romance. I love it. I'm sorry. I just do. So this one I gave 3.5 stars. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I just think it kind of like fell flat in the second chance part of it. I was like, cool. Then I read Seven of Hearts by Maggie C. Gates. This book is what got me out of my reading slump. I was so happy reading it. I was having such a fun time. Like, it should get an honorary 5 stars for getting me out of that months, September until April reading slump. But I gave it 4.5 stars. This is Accidental Pregnancy Joke, but this is done perfectly, like actually perfectly. It was so good, and and she gets gestational diabetes but can't handle needles like at all. And then he comes home from work every like lunchtime just to inject her with the insulin because she won't do it. If she can't do it, she will pass out, and she has passed out. And I'm like, I love him. I love him. Do I remember his name? No. But I love him. Like top book boyfriends, if I remember his name. Then I read Catch Me by Carly Jean. This is the fourth book in the RLU series. I also think it's the final one. Meh. I didn't love this one as much as I love the rest. I think it was very like overhyped, and I loved him, and I loved him in all the other books. But her, I was just like, okay. And then I went on my Brittany Nicole backlist bender. Okay, so I read the Mom-Com series last year, and I loved it. And surprisingly enough, the first one wasn't my favorite. I did like her writing, so I went in and I read basically all of her backlog. So I started Hockey Boy. Now this is the first book in her Boston Bulls hockey series. I read it and I liked it. I gave it 3.75 stars. It definitely wasn't my favorite, but I liked it. But I loved the side characters, especially like Sarah. But I really wanted to know about her, so I went and read her backlog. First, I read The Mom-Com Vacation. It was a little novella. I think it was like 150 pages. And I was like, I'll just get that out of the way. Read it, liked it, gave it 3 stars. Novellas, I kind of like tend to give them 3 stars anyway, because I don't want to just like not rate them, but like they're also still not spectacular. Then I started Brittany's Universe and I went all the way back to the start. So I read Revenge Era, which is ex-boyfriend's dad, age gap. It was so good. She's a pop star basically, and he's her record label manager or producer, something like that. It was really good. It was like 240 pages or something like that. It was not long. I did enjoy the time I had with it. Then I read the next one, which is Pucking Revenge. This is Sarah and Brooke's book. This was phenomenal. I loved it. It was just so funny. All of the like situations that would come up, they were handled so like well. I don't know how to explain it. I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. This is like second favorite book of hers of all time. I was having such a funny, goofy time. I would just take pictures of my Kindle and send it to Bex and be like, look at this joke. Then I read A Major Puck Up. Now, this is dad from the first book's daughter and his best friend. It was iconic. The main male character, also a baby was dropped at his doorstep. So he was just like, that's my child now. Why? I don't know. I gave it 4 stars. It was really good. I loved getting to see the side characters, but they're not very like integrated at this point. They're definitely more integrated in the later books. I also read this in a day, basically. I read 400 pages in a day because I woke up at 5 a.m. But then I had surgery the next day. So I actually read the epilogue bit of it. That's in the Boston Bulls Billionaires box set thing. There's a little epilogue part. Kind of wasn't really anything. Then I read Daisy Jones and the Six. Now, if you've seen my TikToks/shorts, I do want to do a reread of this at some point. When, I don't fully know. But I think, I don't know, it took me really long to read. And then I finished it right before surgery. I think I didn't give it a fair shot. But then I also think the TV show is way better. Like, I haven't finished the TV show, and I love the TV show. So I might do a reread, especially where like I can picture everyone. But I give this 3 stars. I feel like it should be higher than that. Then I read Come With Me by Brooke Montgomery. This was another novella. I just wanted to catch up to my reading goals, so I've read a lot of novellas. And it was grand. The third act breakup was shocking to say the least, but it was good. I gave it 3 stars. Then I read my god tier 6-star book. This phenomenal. This book was €18 to get it in physical, okay? And I had to because I love this book. It's Trouble. Yes, this is Polly. I love it. Okay, fuck off. It was so good. And this was, okay, so Brooks, that was in fucking Revenge. He's a goalie. This is his goalie coach. The first mom from the mom-coms, her brother, this is the best friend to the Revenge era one, okay? She's a pop star as well, and she's like loosely based on Selena Gomez. I was not picturing Selena Gomez the whole time. I figured out that she's like loosely based on thing, and I was like, really? I think that like speaks for itself. I gave it 6 stars. I sobbed. All the couples that we've met also are in this scene, and it was just too much. It was sensory overload, and I loved it. 6 stars. Will I recommend this to everyone? No, but that's because they will know what I read. I read War by Brittany Nicole. This was good. I gave 4 stars. I liked it more than I liked Hockey Boy. It's still like, I liked the like possessiveness, and I liked the adoption storyline. But yeah, it was still really good. Obviously, I was coming off such a high with this, so nothing really compares, but it was amazing. I read War in May, and then Playboy came out in May. So I read both of them. I gave Playboy 4 stars. I liked it. I liked the accidental pregnancy, but I didn't like the accidental pregnancy, if that makes sense. I just think nothing will ever compare after I read 7 of Hearts. Then I read Heart Trick by Christian Granata. This was like 200 pages. Again, trying to catch up on that reading goal for not reading for basically 3 months. It was good. It did feel very quick, but then I was thinking about it, and I was like, some relationships just are very quick. Just cut out mundane stuff and things. They're also neighbors, and I love that trope. I don't know why, but I love that trope. Then I would bring it back. This is also by Christian Granata. This was depression representation romance, and it was really good. And it was able to like put depression into words. That is actually how I feel. How did you just put that into words? So I really liked it. And then that was all I read in May. In June, during my exams, like to sleep and stuff, I was reading Surprise for the Sniper by Serena Trapp. This made me feel such shit for being a child. I don't know how to explain it, but the way she was a single mom, they had an accident pregnancy, she never told him, and then they separated basically, and she raised the boy. But it made me feel like shit for just being a child. How can you talk about your child that way? I don't know. I gave it 3 stars. It probably deserves lower, but I still liked the romance aspect of it. Then I read Gloves Off. You know all about this, but it was so good. This isn't my favorite book yet. I got this like a month earlier and just never got around to it. And I actually read it the day before I had my last exam. Did my last exam, finished it after my last exam. It was really good. I think I would give this 4.5. I loved. He's Russian, basically. They have to get an arranged marriage. He's Russian. So he just keeps calling her Dirty Turnip. And she's like, what? And he's like, term of endearment. Don't worry about it. It's really funny because when she meets his mom, when they're actually together, the mom's like, why'd you ask me what that's called? It's called a dirty turnip. And then she was like, oh. And then she was like, how did you hear it? And she was like, oh, I don't know. It was really funny. Then I read The Throwback by C.L. Rose. This is also like a novella. I liked it. And I liked the second chance part of it. If it was a proper novel, and if there was the first chance in more detail, explain some more, that would be good. But it picked up at the second chance and like sprinkled a bit of the first chance in with it. And I didn't really love that structure for second chance. Then I read Dr. Grant. I read this because I saw scenes on Instagram. I liked it. I do feel like, yes, she like went to write out a drama-filled romance, but I think you could have done it differently. It just kind of felt nonsense. But I gave it 3.75. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but it's 3.75, and I liked it. I did the actual like relationship, and I liked the side characters. The ending of it just kind of, I was just like, what? And like, sorry, the ending of it, I was just like, what? And then it's a very clear ending of they should not get back together. He thinks that, and then months later comes back and was like, I was all wrong. No, you weren't. It was fully valid to break up and never speak to each other again, you know? Then I read The Stunt by C.L. Rose. This is another one of her novellas. This is another like pop star, hockey star. Join them together. And for publicity, I liked it. It wasn't great. I did like that their like romance started like straight away, and that like made the novella like understandable. I just do think there could be more, but that's a lot with novellas as well. So then I read The Fallout with Jenny Barra. This is in a video. So from now on, a lot of the books are in videos, so they'll just be up here on whichever side they appear. I read The Fallout with Jenny Barra. This I gave 2.5 stars, and that was generous. I did not like it. I felt like she had no personality, and then he had OCD. I also have OCD, but he had OCD, and then just around her, he shut it off, and I'm like, that's not great OCD rep because you can't just shut it off. Then I read Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a novella. It's like 80 pages. It's also an audiobook with your Kindle Unlimited. So I listened to it. It took me like 40 minutes, but it was good. And again, I didn't really get the point, but it's 80 pages, what you expect. But it's basically these two people, they realize they're stressed, they're cheating, and they're with each other, and then sending letters back and forth. But yeah. Then I read A Murder to Remember by Bryn Kelly. This was audio, and this took so long for me to read. I read it over the span of like 3 months for an audiobook. It was just so boring, and there was nothing really like to it. The romance wasn't great, the mystery wasn't great, the plot twist wasn't great. I was able to like guess everything. So I gave it 2.5 stars. It is free on Audible, so. Then I read Problematic Summer Romance and Till Summer Do Us Part. This I gave 4.5 stars. It is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Everyone read this. I had one tiny little qualm, and I go into it in detail with the video that this is in, but I tell you the whole plot and everything. But it was really good. I really liked it. I think everyone should read it. My one qualm was that there was no like epilogue, and I explained why in the video. And I also read Till Summer Do Us Part. This was also really good. I rated it 4. There was one like key factor of all this book, and it was just annoying, really. And I hate it because like I get that that's the point of the plot, but I was just like, too much. Then I read The Wedding Party. This I gave 1 star. This was absolute bullshit. The plot twist was not real. I'm sorry, it's not real. There's no evidence to like back that up. The plot twist. It's about this wedding party. They're on like a joint bachelorette party. This detective gets invited by her friend to go to her friend's bachelorette party, and the like 60% mark, that should have been the plot twist. And yes, it was predictable, but it was understandable. But then they were just like, we're going to add backgrounds and histories and bloodlines. And I was like, no. And then I read that on audiobook. And then I also read Let Them on audiobook. I gave this 2 stars. It was not great. This girl yaps about herself constantly, and I get it, like it's a thing. But what annoyed me was it's not her research that she's on about. It's other people's research that she's putting into her own life and telling you about it. But she's making it out like it's her research. And it's not. It's other people with PhD backgrounds and doctors' research. And she's just yapping about it, you know? Did not love it. Then I read Summer People by Brittany Nicole. This was so good. So good. I gave it 4 stars. I had little like qualms and everything about it. The mystery. This was a romance and a mystery. They're on, I want to say Cape Cod, but I feel like that's wrong. But they're basically a little island that no one really visits until summer, and all the tourists are called summer people. And she comes right before summer, and they're like, "Oh, she's just another summer people," but no, she's escaping her abusive something. Yeah, but she's a movie star and she's really like popular, and I like it. And she has a TV show basically, and in her TV show, she has a dog named Bing. What does the male character have? A dog named Bing. And she calls him out on it. She's like, "Oh, it's from my TV show," and he's like, "No, no, 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 it's from Friends, Chandler Bing." And she was like, "That's what my character says." To explain it. There's also a little girl in this, and I loved her. There's also side characters, and I'm so excited for next year because I know the couple that's going to be next year, and I just want them now. And I read Carrie Social. This I read in my 24-hour readathon, 24-hour REID-a-thon, and I go into detail about all of these books. So I'm just gonna show you them and tell you to start reading. 5 stars. This was phenomenal. Then I read One True Loves. I also gave this 5 stars. It was phenomenal. Then I read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now this, I have the paperback somewhere between my mom's house, my dad's house, my granddad's house. I can't find it. So picture it is. I also give this 5 stars. Then I had Maybe in Another Life. This one I give 3 stars. I go into depth about it in my video, but this, I still don't get it. It's been weeks and I still don't get it. Then I actually finished Summer Girl Romance by Lily Chu. This was an audiobook, and I had this on in the background when I was like cleaning and stuff, and I finished this while I was doing my makeup. It was good. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars. I do think it was fairly lackluster, and they ended up like going to a Ren fair randomly, and I think that should have been the plot of the book. I feel like that was such a missed opportunity. Then I read Atmosphere by David. This I will not shut up about. This is 5 stars. Probably even 6 stars. I loved it. It was so good. And there's a lot of like, this is her only book that's bar One True Loves that's marketed as a romance, and it is different to her other books, and it's less like informative, if that makes sense. And then I read Malibu Rising. I gave this 4.5 stars. I liked it. I really did. The end of it annoyed me. It kept jumping POVs, and that it's third POV anyway, but the way it kept jumping POVs, I could not handle it at all. Then I read Wild Pitch. This is on Kindle Unlimited. This was good. I did really like it. It was fake dating and stuff like that. I gave it 3.5 stars, I think. But I liked it. I really did. And her relationship with her parents is fucked up. Fucked up. But yeah, I really liked it. I gave 3.5 stars. This is also by C.L. Rose. As you can tell, to get out of a book slump, I just kept reading the same authors because I knew what to expect. That's an actual great trick. As I'm filming this video, I am reading Wolf King by Lauren Palperiman. I have no clue. Very sorry, Lauren. This is a book that Laura, Bailey, and Emmy read. It's so good. But I'm 68% through, so I'm basically 70% through. Hopefully I'll finish this tonight, but if not, I'll finish it tomorrow. So Louis yapping in the background. Ignore him. But yeah, that is all the books I've read so far this year. Thank you for listening to me yap for an ungodly amount of time. Now I have to edit this video for an ungodly amount of time. The videos that I mentioned are linked. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more, maybe subscribe. I never say that. That feels weird. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a long time coming. A long time coming, girl. I will see you in next week's video. I'm so happy to be out of a book slump. Yay! Bye!